Strata's list, and it's something that you guys are championing going into 2024, and it's something that we're going to hear a lot more about. And so I'm so excited to probe this brand new, brave new world of policy orchestration and just, see what your plans are and how security leaders and listeners can apply that to their security programs today. Jerry, welcome.
Thanks so much, Josh. Really great to be here with you and with Maggie as well.
Maggie, what's going on in your world?
Well, this entire episode is tying in perfectly with what I've got going on, which is a lot of compliance creation and developing out new fire drill techniques for the cybersecurity industry, which is kind of like a pre-stress test. So I'm really interested to hear about what Strata's doing, and I'm just going to turn it over to you. Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on and what you're developing, Jerry.
Sure thing. So, Josh, as you mentioned, Eric here at Strata has brought the notion of identity orchestration to the market and how we deal with different IDPs and identity providers and managing lots of different disconnected identity technologies. Well, if what we're addressing with identity orchestration is primarily how do we handle the session creation, which IDP should you log on with? What multi-factor authentication method should you use if that's needed? And so all of the steps needed to actually create a session with a business application. Okay, great. That's all fine. But once the session is established, now what happens? What can you do as a user? What do you have access to? That's where access policies come into play. And just as is the case with identity orchestration, with policies, we're in a multi-cloud world where most organizations, I forget the latest percentages, but it's a majority of large organizations are adopting more than one cloud platform. Okay, great. What's the issue there? Well, each platform has its own way of managing configurations and therefore access policies. So now if you want to answer the question, who has access to what, to go back to that compliance sort of question, well, that's more difficult because everyone does it differently. So what we're proposing so policy orchestration is sort of the umbrella term, but the nuts and bolts of it is we have proposed a new and neutral way to define access policies. We call that identity query language, or IDQL.